Hi, hello, welcome. Welcome to another recording of things I'll send to my therapist. My name's Alex. I make music as Arcade Island, and I just put out an album. It's called Dreaming in the Void. Go listen, go listen, go listen, go listen. I'm going through every song on the album, and I'm going to show you how I made it. Last week, I did Savannah Moon. The week before that was Leviathan. I'm going to try to do it in order from here on out. We started with Leviathan, then we went back one to Savannah Moon. Now we're going to track 3, which is Gore! You know, sometimes when you're writing music, it's a marathon. We just make pieces here, you just make pieces there, a little bit at a time. You redo this, you redo that, there's something there. You don't really know even what you're doing, and then just one day it's like, oh, it's done. And then other times, you just sit down on a guitar or a piano, and then it's just shit, it just comes to you. I'm just cooking, I guess. I'm just going to go to the chorus. Okay, that came out pretty easy. And I'm going to go to the bridge. And that came out pretty easy. Okay, this song is done, I guess. And this is one of those songs. I don't even know if I was aiming to write a song, but I just sat down at a guitar, I picked it up, and just started strumming away. And what the fuck? Fuck my fucking iPhone. Fuck you, Apple. I just started strumming away, and this guy just came to me. And just like in Leviathan, I recorded this guitar once via amp. And simultaneously, I recorded it through direct input, or DI. So you get a little character, you get a little low end, you get a little more body and articulation, and voila, that's how I do all the guitars for it. You can see I had to clean up a little bit of the amp noise in between. Just starts in the right channel, and then the other guitars in the left channel come in with the rest of the ensemble. And then on top of that, I have this melody. I probably should have cleaned up all this shit, but whatever. And when you put those together, you get this guy. But that wasn't really enough. It needed a little something. Those sort of downstroke hooks, as if you whatever you want to call them, are played in octaves on the guitar. And also, I originally had a synthesizer over top of them playing the same notes, but then I had that converted into strings. It kind of sounds like Queens of the Stone Age or something, maybe off Songs for the Deaf. Sharp, angular chords and driving beat and a pentatonic hook that sounds a little mysterious. And then underneath that, we have drums. I'm not going to go too much into detail on the drums. I feel like every song I'm going to go into them, but you got a lot in the stack. Mostly things to just fix polarity issues, a gate to kind of get rid of some of the mic bleed. I have a trigger in here, just really light, and that's software that will replace the sound with a sample. Yeah, you can see the mix here is 65% the original, right? So 65% of this is the original recording that I have, and then there's just 35% of this is just a sample, just to beef up the snare a little bit. Haven't played the overheads, not much to the overheads here, just some basic EQ, get rid of like the low end muddiness, punch up where the snare frequencies are, and then a little bit of compression. And then bass. I already explained in Leviathan that I DI'd all the bass. Really nothing fancy to it. Just plug one into the instrument out on the bass and then plug the other end into my audio interface directly into the computer. And then, just threw a little amp sim on there, some EQ to shape it, low end, cut out kind of where the high end of the kick is, and some saturation, give it a little more character, and then some compressors. That's pretty much it. You put all that together, you got yourself a song, man. On this one, I think I'll just kind of go through each section of the song. In the verses, we have my vocals here. Again, same stack I do on every song to start with. I'll adjust it depending on the song. Melodyne for some minor pitch correction, very selective, not just blanket the whole thing. Saturation, distortion, some EQ, vocal rider, compressor, de-esser to get rid of the sibilants or sharp sounds, and a little bit of chorus just to give it a sort of liquid characteristic.
Peeling back the overworld, see the cores of bone unguarded, buried deep within the folds.
Just some slap delay on that for a little bit of space. And then in the second part of the verses, I have some harmonies come in.
I reflect, projected whole, a mighty work, despair for nothing. Am I a man of fashioned stone?
There's also a synthesizer here in the first part of the verse. I played this on my Moog Subsequent 25. You get this.
Peeling back the overworld, see the cores of bone unguarded.
And then when the harmonies come in, I add some guitar in here. And a little trick here, there's one to the left playing this. And there's one to the right playing this. Sort of a rhythm that you would hear in maybe like a Glassjaw song or something like that. When you put them together. And then in the pre-chorus, this modulates a little bit. I have a clean guitar here, just some vibrato on it. And then on my vocals, I automated a little bit more delay. I kind of cranked it up from the verses.
Oh, I already know there should be something more to.
So now let's get to the chorus. And the way that I arrange this, a pretty common arrangement and performance trick when you're writing music is to have a groove that is played by the drums or the percussion, and then a lot of your other instrumentals can be built around that. So you notice that the drums do this. Dun dun tsh, dun, tsh. The guitars do the same thing, as well as the bass. And the bass does the same. You might not hear it in the song, but I'm playing octaves on a second guitar. And all the guitars are going to a bus, by the way, over here. Guitars dist. I say that in a few other songs. I didn't say it before, but when you have similar parts, guitars, vocals, percussion, that are all part of an instrument group that is playing a role in the song, it can help to, at least for mixing purposes, and it can help for kind of gluing everything together to send all those signals to a bus, where then you can apply compression, EQ, effects to it all together. It's an important mixing trick. If I want to apply delay or reverb or some kind of effect to, a vocal stack of 10 vocals, it'd be such a massive waste of computing power, as well as just giving you a headache if every single song has reverb on it, when you can just send all of them to one track, apply reverb once, and voila. This is probably one of the only songs of the record that I didn't double any of my lead vocals in the chorus. I don't know why, I just liked the sound of it single.
Am I more than just material? Tell me, am I even here?
They overlap a little bit in between each bar.
Disappear. Am I maybe metaphysical?
So you just kind of copy and paste the effects from one to the other and have them going to the same sub like we talked about. And I do have some selective harmonies.
Am I more than just material? Am I more than just material?
Then in the second verse, I changed things up a little bit. I've got some percussion here. Again, just me playing a Tupperware container. Only thing really melodically playing in the second verse besides my voice is just the bass. And then for my vocals in the first part, just to make it sound a little bit nastier and a little bit more intimate, both one to the left, one to the right, I double track some whispers of the lyrics. So
every thought is alchemy.
Gives it a little bit more sinister quality.
Every thought is alchemy.
Here's me breathing into the mic. Sent to a bus with some flanger and like heavy compression on it. I just wanted like an organic sounding swell to go into the second part of the verse.
Anesthesia in my veins.
Same as the first verse there, except I bring in that melody again. Then the second pre-chorus, I drop all the guitars out and I just have the synth part, which is played in through MIDI. There's a melody here played on the strings. And it's augmented by this weird synth patch that I found that it's just kind of twisted. This is a tricky thing here. I've done this in a song before, but sometimes you'll have lyrics that overlap. As I just showed you in the chorus, you can just have them overlap and just leave it that way. Or you can rewrite it and you could rewrite the timing of your vocals so that there's a little bit more space. Or you could do this, which is write the lyrics in a specific way so that at least the word or just the sound of the word, it can be just a homonym, something that sounds like another word, make them the same and overlap from each other, and then it almost feels like a run-on sentence.
How fragile is the world behind my eye? Wish that would license.
World behind my eye, and then sounds like I speaking to myself, and it's a neat little trick. That wasn't an accident. Like I did that on purpose to just make that transition smoother. At the end of the second pre-chorus, I slow down into a slower tempo. You can just do that raw if you want, but in the world where everything's recorded to the grid, I have these master controls here, these master automation controls, and I just took the tempo from 125 down to 95. And what's cool is that the synthesizers that are MIDI will sync up to it. So we got this guitar, one channel. And just playing single notes. Like I'm not playing chords or anything like that. I have this effect here, this noise effect that I created on my Chord Mini log. It's just delay from a noise patch that I then adjusted the depth and the tempo of like the master control unit on the synthesizer, and you get this. It's those kinds of little production tricks that really make it more interesting. Without it, it's fine, but with I don't know. I don't have a word for it, man. It's just rules. We don't go to another chorus. Mixing it up. Mixing it up. Got the same notes that I was playing just before there, but in power chords. And also, on one channel, I'm playing this. But in the other, I'm playing this. So you get this effect. And then when I'm screaming and have this drum breakdown, I'm playing this. Harmonies of each other. And the bass is just doing root notes. You probably don't hear this in the context of the song either, but there's that synthesizer that I played in the opening verse is just playing this arpeggio. And the build up here is me kind of throat screaming as best as I can. I gave myself a migraine doing that, probably. And then my screams. Underneath the holy viscera! And then we got a very like Rage Against the Machine finish here. Speed the tempo back up to 195. Back into the final chorus. And there's nothing really different here, except there's a string and synthesizer melody playing in tandem in the second coda, I guess. I definitely wanted this one to sound a little bit like you're losing your shit a little bit. Gore! And I think I accomplished that. I like the tempo change in the middle. I like it's a little bit unconventional structure. I make sure when I make an album, I don't want every song to just be structured the same, to start the same. I think a lot of people think that music just comes to you and then it's just done. But there's a lot of decision making that goes into it when you're thinking about a body of work. And if I have 5 songs on a record that all start, with an intro, then a full body intro, and then a verse, and then it goes into a chorus, and I start to think to myself, like, I don't want every song to just be the same. So I will sometimes just pick a song and say, that one, I'm just going to go straight into the verse, or I'm going to come up with a different way to start that, or throw some sound effects in there. I think as long as you're making those decisions from a place of what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, and what you think the song needs, or what the record needs to make sure that it tells a story, because music is storytelling. It makes your music better. It makes your art better. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This song is kind of a straightforward rock song, I think, which is not a ton of cool production tricks in there, I don't think. Listen to my album. Please tell people about it. Tell people about this. Maybe by the end of this, I will have some kind of structure, and then I'll stop and forget about it by the time the next record comes out.